Folks, you want to boost the output from your wireless access point, but you don't want to spend the big bucks or don't want to need like a ridiculous antenna like this one. This is amazing if you want to like connect two buildings that are like 2 miles apart, or even a few hundred yards apart, right? You're talking like, I don't know if this is 18 or 24. This is 24, no, 19 dB gains. This is a pretty major antenna, right?
What are you talking about, $60 for something like that?
$60 for something like that. It's a pretty good deal actually for the what you get. We're looking around though, when we did the article about extending a antenna with a parabolic reflector like an old satellite dish. One of the things we stumbled across these guys at freeantennas.com. Freeantennas.com, they came up with some interesting ideas of, well, basically antennas you can make for next to nothing out of stuff you can find around your house or in a hardware store. That hardware store we were talking about in the A block where they have everything, you just got to find the right one.
Right.
Yeah. Auto repair guys are good for finding those. Check this out. This is your basic Linksys box. What they've noticed is these are really, omnidirectional antennas. They basically broadcast in all directions simultaneously, and they're not the cleanest design.
Right.
They do their job. And what they've noticed, though, is you figure a lot of times this is sitting maybe in a corner of your house, and you don't particularly need to paint signal back across your neighbor's house. You don't need to see, if you put it in the right place, you can basically orient it and maybe have one direction for the signal to go.
So what you're creating here, now what is the parabolic? I heard, what does that mean exactly?
What this actually, and we're kind of jumping ahead here, but what we have here, right, is a reflector. Now, parabola is basically a curve that's designed and boy, there's going to be math majors that are probably laughing hysterically. The idea is basically to create a curve that points towards the center point, right? So if you ever take a look at the light bulb at the front of a car, remember the old ones would be a big round glass thing and it'd be curved, or if the inside of a flashlight, that reflector back there, the bulb's at the center of it, it reflects light out in a particular direction.
So this is doing the same thing, it's focusing.
Yeah, essentially you're focusing a signal. Now if you take a look back at home base, if we pull up the signal at home base, you'll actually see what's coming up on there, and that's pretty strong. We're in a fairly small room for this. It's much more dramatic like if you go into my house where there's a pretty large wall, but it's running about 75 dB on there. It's a pretty arbitrary measurement because I don't have a pretty high-end car on there. And if you start attaching these reflectors on here, and it's they look kind of goofy, don't they, folks? Because they're made out of like oak tag and aluminum. But if we take a look back there, we should see a jump.
It's going up, isn't it?
We're actually considering it should go up some if I focus it correctly and get it in the right direction. We also have the jib camera in between us and there now, which can't be helping the signal that much. That's the big giant steel camera in the middle.
Right.
But what happens, right, is what we should end up is getting about a 10 dB boost. We cheated. We rearranged it, but that's good. Thank you. The thing is, though, we're actually noticing in pre-show about a 10 dB boost. They're claiming about a 12 dB boost, which is a pretty healthy boost. That might be enough to, it's enough to like clean up the back corner of my house where reception is really weak. It goes down to like 1 bar connectivity.
If you're sitting in the backyard and you have very low signal strength, but it still works and it drops out from time to time, this might be something to try.
Yeah, if it's in the middle of your house, this is not a good idea, right? Because basically what it's doing, it's taking all the signal that would normally go in this direction and focusing it out that way. So the signal is going that way and not back out the other way. What's interesting is what we noticed, if you have a really nice antenna setup, like yours actually has antenna wires, I guess, down both sides of the card. Right. So yours actually is pretty, unaffected. This doesn't help yours much. It doesn't take much. In fact, I think we noticed it kind of dropped the signal much because I think yours probably picks up a lot of signal that's bounced. Really easy to make. We printed out, basically there's a couple sheets you can print out. One's for the reflector, and one's for the little centerpiece that you mounted on.
This is what you download, or it's the printout on that website.
Basically, we downloaded this, we printed it out on paper, we glued it onto actually some hardworking interns. Scott Michelle glued it onto there.
As I said, this is a good craft project for your kids at home.
It's pretty goofy, but it's fun. And then the last thing we did is not on this piece, but on the reflectors, we glued aluminum foil onto the back of it. You could use, mesh, wire, any kind of steel, copper, your mom's baking dish or baking pan. And what you do is you basically bend this over, and it gets inserted into basically it's like putting, it's the slot A into tab B kind of moment in there. And when you're done, it ends up taking the proper curve for the parabola.
It's just like build one of those Burger King hats, kind of. Like
literally, it's the same exact. If you've built a Burger King hat, you can build one of these.
Okay, cool.
We use contact cement. You can use whatever kind of glue you have laying around to attach your aluminum foil and your paper together. Really cool. Before you go out and spend money on an antenna, try building one of these. You might be shocked.
I mean, this is going to cost you what? What's your total cost?
I don't know.
20 cents?
I'm calling it the 10-cent Wi-Fi. 10
cents. There you go.
That's awesome. It's a pretty cool project. Great site, freeantennas.com. You should definitely check it out if you like playing with Wi-Fi. Good stuff. And we got the patterns, links, and again, props to the folks at freeantennas.com. Very, very good stuff. Go to screensavers.com, get the links.
Nice. That's fun.
It is fun.
A little trashy, but it's fun.
Well, we do what we can.
Yes.